This is Bill.
Hey, it's Darren for your interview. Still a good time?
Yeah, perfect.
Well, I'm going to say, how are you? But keeping in mind, in the middle of a pandemic here, it's not the traditional answer. How's it going, though?
Yeah. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's cool.
Is it a case where you're doing press, but you're hunkered down at home and just kind of waiting to see what's going to happen?
Well, yeah, but I work a lot at home, so it's really fine. I mean, I'm in San Francisco. It's kind of a densely populated area, so it's weird, but everybody's pretty cool. Everybody's staying inside, and with not much control they have over the situation. So just have to see what happens, right?
Exactly. And I assume you're doing a ton of press right now to promote the new record?
Yeah.
And of course, the new record's out on your own label. Did you know outright that it was going to come out through Cool Arrow?
I did, because this kind of music, it bitters, coming all over the place. It's very eclectic, and it's very what's the word? It's not for everyone. And this is the kind of thing that I did because I wanted to do it, and I have a label, so it's the perfect platform for it.
And it's the follow-up to the first Talking Book album.
Correct.
I believe it'd been 7 or 8 years in the works?
More like 5. We had that and toured it for a couple of years on and off, and the first one. And then, yes, this one took about 5. So it took a while.
And which song was written or at least recorded first on the album?
Oh, boy. Well, this is really abstract music. So they all were, but they were not worked out. Like the way we kind of compose, it's more cyclical. It's more like working with sculpture. So we had a lot of abstract ideas that ended up, becoming the tracks that they are now, but they just took a long time to work out.
But when you're a writer, you get a press release saying this album's coming out. And in this case, they're saying, and here's the stream to Thermal Drift. What was it that made you think, well, this is the first song that everyone should hear?
That was a tough one because they're all really different. So, it just, you go by feeling. Like, I don't know. They're actually, you can't really judge. It's not like you have a single. It's not like every song sounds the same or it's even close. There's not anything more representative than another because the album is basically a story. We just kind of, it's luck of the draw, I guess.
And in spending that long making an album, taking your time and it being very craft-oriented, do you already have stuff written for a Talking Book 3?
I'm happy this thing I got finished. Let's put it that way.
Got it. Did you know outright when you were writing that, hey, this is Talking Book 2, or could it have been a different project in general?
No, it was going to be Talking Book 2 because it was the same guys working on the music that worked on the first one. That's kind of, we all kind of come from different backgrounds, and when we put our heads together, this is Talking Book.
And this is the latest release for Cool Arrow. Do you have any other releases in the pipeline right now?
At the moment, not. But I will. I mean, I do about 2 to 3 releases per year.
And another thing that people are talking about related to you is the fact that there's the fall tour that's coming up with Faith No More, Helmet, and Korn. I assume it's all happening as planned?
I assume, yes. I mean, it's a moving landscape. So I don't know everything, but right as of right now, it's planned to continue, yeah.
Now, I had the pleasure of going to your show at the Madison Square Garden Theater with Faith No More. And of course,
cool.
It was kind of laughed at that it was originally at the arena and then it was down to the theater, which is still an extremely, extremely prestigious.
It's pretty big. Yeah, right.
It's still a very prestigious place to have played and all that. And Faith No More has been back in a big way for about a decade now, maybe even more than a decade. And I don't think that everyone was expecting the band to come back full time like that. Is there more to your life than Cool Arrow and Faith No More? Are there other hobbies or creative pursuits that you have?
A lot. A big one, actually, is something that I've been doing that I discovered with Faith No More back in the early 90s. And that's, traveling, and especially traveling in an area of Eastern Europe where bands didn't really go very much. I've gone out into the Balkans quite a bit, and they have a spirit there that's made called Rakija. It's ubiquitous over there, but kind of unknown here. And I decided to start a Rakija label and start importing it.
Wow. Tell me more about that because I do write for a food outlet or two.
Oh, do you? Oh, well, it's fantastic. I mean, they've been making Rakija since the Ottoman times, going back to the 1300s. And there's, it's very, what's the word? Every family kind of has their farms that they grew up on, that their grandmothers grew up on, that they know the fruit from that farm. They distill it, and they know the water from the area, and it's very, very sophisticated. And I have this, I teamed up with these people in the middle of Serbia, and from a farm that they probably had for a couple hundred years. And it's this plum Slivovitz that's absolutely incredible. And it's aged by oak that's from the property, actually, Serbian oak. And there's nothing like it. There's nothing like it in the States. It's completely unique. It's very exciting, actually, to be part of something like that.
Are there places in the Bay Area where you can easily get it at a bar or a restaurant?
Absolutely, yes. There's about 15 places right now we have.
And is it on your rider when you tour?
It should be. No, right now not, because, it might be, actually, in August. It's handmade, so it's still very it's still very exclusive. It's very, until we can get to the point where, a production comes to a point where, we can start getting it all over the place. It's going to be just limited to certain areas, I think.
And what's the name of your brand or your label on it?
It's called Yebiga, Yebiga.
Okay, so if we talk about your contemporaries here from the Bay Area and from metal and all that, people hear that Metallica has a whiskey, you just hear, okay, they have a whiskey. But when you hear that it's an actual passion project like this, you start to go, well, why don't I know about this yet? And is everyone going to know about this in a year or two?
I mean, I'm at the point, kind of like if I think about my music career, where, we're just taking cassettes to bars to try to get a gig on a Tuesday night. That's where I am with the Spirit. So it's very much ground level, very, very early days. And it's all about going out and just teaching people what it actually is. So you will start hearing about it. I'm sure you'll start hearing about it. But, it's like developing a band. It can be a slow building process, I think.
And do you have any partners in this?
No, I do not. Only my partners who make the stuff in Serbia. They're my partners.
So Bill Gould is very, very busy, to say the least, because there's Talking Book, there's a record label, there's Faith No More, there's a Spirit and all that. So definitely it sounds like you're creating something in some form every day.
Absolutely. And sometimes three things at the same time. There's a lot going on. But it's also, it's all creative work. Even the spirits, working with spirits, really, there's not a big departure from working with music because it's cultural expression.
And being that it's more of a craft kind of spirit, do you look at something that, say, what Sammy Hagar does and say, that's where I want it to be? Or do you just want to keep it craft?
It's a good question. This is what I think. I think Rakija is underappreciated. I think it should be recognized. And I think it's a crime that it hasn't. So I would like to see the visibility getting high so people can respect what's coming out of that part of the world. But as far as what I do with myself, that doesn't even cross my mind, to be honest with you. I would like to not lose too much money.
Sure.
but I'm going to do this anyway. I'm going to do that till I die. So it's just what it is. It's just part of my life.
And are you actually of Serbian descent?
I'm not, but it's interestingly enough, I found out that my family roots go from that area.
Interesting.
I have my father's side, I have a Jewish background, but it got erased. And, in the World War II. But, we found out that there was actually the village where my family came from was kind of close to the Serbian border.
Wow. And are there any other members of Faith No More that have Jewish ties, out of curiosity?
Yeah, the drummer. He's, I believe, Russian and Ukrainian.
Wow. So the roots of metal definitely go back to the Jews, and then not just Kiss and David Lee Roth and all that.
I think the minor chords do, yeah.
Right on. So looking ahead to everything, sounds like you're doing well. Sounds like you're keeping busy. So in closing, Bill, any last words for the kids?
Yeah, actually. What I would say is if you like what you're doing, then you don't think about all the downside of it. So just find something that you like.
Paltrocast.